I've always experienced living in a financially precarious situation. Ever since I remember as a child, I barely remember my parents ever holding on a job, ever working, ever bringing that financial security. My father, most of his life, he was always at home watching television and complaining about health problems that rendered him unable to work. And my mother, she would always make the excuse that she was a woman, and obviously that she believed that a woman's duty is to be at home and basically looking after the household needs, and uh, and that's what she did. Over time, it developed into a sense of animosity for me towards them because I felt like they didn't put enough effort or care towards improving the financial situation to make our lives a bit more rewarding and fulfilling. It was just about them. My father complained about health issues. My mother, she was always complaining that it wasn't a responsibility to go out and make and earn an income, and that was ultimately what made us rely on social security payments. So here in the UK, obviously, there is a support because statistics show that there's a high level of material deprivation and poverty even in this country, despite it being in the top 10 world's biggest economy. There is still a lot of material deprivation, social poverty here. And if you look at many articles, there's an increase in food banks, increase on people in arrears when it comes to bills. So the situation here is pretty poor for millions. And obviously, if you are in a less developed country, it's probably going to be significantly worse because you don't have that social security buffer to help you through tough financial periods. But for me, the impact that it's had on me was mental because I always felt like I couldn't really rely on my parents for support. And if there was a problem or if I wanted to buy something, I was always hesitant to ask them just in case they would tell me that they didn't have enough money to be able to afford it. And looking back, my parents grew up in extreme material deprivation. My mother, she would tell me stories that I would have expected to have listened in medieval times. That she didn't even have a toilet growing up inside the house, or that their parents didn't have any uh, like uh, cars, that kind of modern transport that most people take for granted these days. Over 90% of the people, particularly in advanced economies, regardless of job and income level. But obviously, these days, even jobs, they don't necessarily offer financial security. A lot of jobs tend to be precarious or not offer enough hours or just being low paying to be able to feel financially secure. So, despite a lot of people working, there's still an element of stress there. And that's been the case for me too because when I didn't really gain any specialist skills or qualifications, so going in entry level jobs, it never made me feel like I had a future, a long term future that I could rely on that job. I always felt like, in a sense, feeling precarious, feeling replaceable, and that ultimately made me lose motivation to even go and work. I experienced a lot of just disillusionment, dissatisfaction, and ultimately depression that hampered my ability to go out and obviously work. And because I don't have a family, I don't have any responsibility for children. That's fine. I mean, I'm just here for myself, and so nobody's gonna suffer the consequences of my situation. But let me know your experience of poverty or like not having enough money, how it impacted you mentally, how your life choices and experiences, and whether you've been able to improve your situation or whether you're still struggling and looking to hopefully get better. I'll be intrigued to read the comments.